Crypto banter be battling back, buying big dips after these whale attacks. Such TA and fundamentals to whack. Big boy's throne is coming under attack, cause we got double your money man ran, his fundamentals are whack. Double your money man ran with presidents and his contacts. Double your money man ran, building back to backs with such stacks. Double your money man ran with Fred and Sniper at his back. We got crypto banter, crypto banter, crypto banter. What?
Crypto banter. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Crypto Banter. I'm Sheldon the Sniper. Welcome to the best community out there, guys. The best, YouTube information channel, everything you want to call it. Welcome to everyone. Great show coming up today. Let's get the shit up here, guys. We have some good news happening on a little bit of higher time frames with the market. We can start to see when was the last time that we actually had 2-3 days of greenness. So we're starting to get a little bit of good momentum back in the market. This is exciting. We need to have a look at what's still the key levels. We know we've been talking a lot about investment-wise, the staking-wise. A lot of our portfolio should be locked in. And all that we need for the bigger part of our portfolio is to just be a bit patient. We need more candle print as we progress. But we also know we have a nice little spot wallet of ours, our trading wallet, which is a 20-30% of our portfolio that we are playing active. We've had some great gains already. Good trades yesterday. 2 of them hit the buy zone. 3 are still yet to hit them. But we are starting to get to the point where we can start making some good money in the markets and we can start diversifying, start this whole structure again, guys. It's been education, something that we can't do when the bull run is happening and everything's going crazy. That's when we make money. But now we're going to start to see, guys, why it was so important to have a little bit of downtime, a little bit of self-improvement time, a little bit of education time. Before we get into the show, guys, we also have a great guest today. Ched's my man, a big inspiration to me. I think he's a brilliant, not only trader, but mindset. He's a really talented and well-experienced guy. I'm very excited to have him on a bit later to share his knowledge on the charts and a bit of knowledge of how he's gotten through his whole crypto career. So that's coming up. The first thing, guys, before we get in, I want you to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. What will that do, guys? That will obviously get you guys the notifications when we are going live. Whenever we're going live, we like to be as much as possible. We're here every day, usually with 2 shows a day. So hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Follow myself on Twitter, Sheldon_Sniper. Follow Ran on Twitter, Crypto Man Ran on Twitter as well. What that does, guys, is any key things to the show, any key information, we like to keep that a place where we can share the information. Follow our Telegram channels. Follow us on Instagram as well. All the descriptions are below. Please make sure that any information you get is in the description below the YouTube channels. There are a lot of scammers out there, a lot of guys that are trying to fake our accounts, ask you guys for money, ask for DMs. So please be careful. We are a free channel. And what else is free, guys? We have the Sniper School. This is why it's so important to become part of this community. Guys, this is the biggest and baddest school that's going to be out there. Not only is it a crypto school, it's going to be the biggest school in the world. We are bringing the school absolutely free to the masses. We are basically finished up with the curriculum. We're getting the last tweaks done to have the launch. But as you know, guys, we've also started to bring Sniper's wisdoms of the day. We've decided that even though we're waiting, to launch a school like this and the masses and it takes a big production system. It takes a lot. And we wanted to make sure that we still have you guys getting educated in between. So we bring the Sniper's wisdoms every day where we give you guys 10-15 minutes education every day. This is why it's important to be dedicated, to be your dedication is going to pay off by being here. And we can see already the last 2 weeks, guys, we have covered some huge things. We have covered, if I have a look here, we actually have a system for the first time of trading. Who would have thought that 2 months ago when we all started in the bull market that you would have had a system? We now have rules. We have goals. We have purposes, understanding wallets and where our money should be and how these things are all working. So I'm very excited to start bringing this whole education side with the calls as well and all the updates. I think that's more. And the last thing I do want to chat about, guys, is the trade with the Sniper. This is a new thing we are launching. What we are going to do is we will see the amount of times we'll do it in 1 month, but I want to take at least 30 people to trade with me live for 3 hours. Will there be trades? We'll make sure that it's on a day that we have a good market, that we can get trades. But guys, sitting with me for 3 hours, we're going to be able to get a lot done. We're going to get a lot done just with the understanding of getting into the routine of what needs to be done. It's quite simple. We all think trading is difficult and it's hard. The only time it's ever difficult is your emotions, when you're allowing that head of yours to control what you are doing. How does a company work? Very simple. It's got a structure. It's got a rule system. That's how a company works. You do it wrong, you get fired. It's very simple. And this is the same way. If you have a simple rule system, a simple structure, one or two times you're going to get out too early or something's going to happen. That doesn't matter. But consistency, you will get 7, 8 out of 10 right. And those are the ones that are going to get you where you need to get going into the future. So now that we've hit, I will come back and have a look at all those likes. We need some love, guys. Freddie is back in the house. Shame.
Welcome to Crypto Banter, you set stacking scandalous scallywags. Well, since you're here, might as well smash that like button. Smash it real good. Savvy?
Brilliant. Thank you. See, Freddie's back in the house, guys. And did you notice we got Jack Sparrow on the team? Jack Sparrow is trading with us at Crypto Banter. How awesome. And last night we had the amazing one-on-one sessions. We had 50 people with the educational call last night. It went amazing. And we are going to be selecting winners again this week for the next Monday and the next Monday. You can see we started with 20 people per session. Now we're going to 50. Guys, we are expanding. We are making sure everything's in play, but every single one of you are going to be a part of this. So don't feel like it's just, never going to happen, guys. Every single person is going to be a part of this. So I think let's get going. Let's get started. Enough with the intro. Let's jump in. Let's see where we are sitting and what is the main story, obviously, of what's happening and why the market is starting to show us a little bit of life. We're starting to get somewhere. The first thing that we have been going through, obviously, is every time we are getting between the 29,000, the 32,000, we are getting these strong reactions to the upward side. The only difference is we had a big fake out session, which caught us all off guard. So that was showing us that we're starting to make momentum, starting to get somewhere. And then we obviously had this strong pullback in the zone. And now we keep bouncing strongly in these zones. And what's very exciting is that we get into a point now where we're breaking an 8-hour to a daily trend line to the upward side. So this is a really key level for us to understand that we're starting to make a little bit of progress. The bulls are starting to fight back. Remember, guys, who remembers 2 weeks ago where it felt like it was so hard to get damn gains out the market and so easy for it to drop? The sellers had control. And I like that we are getting to a situation where, when was the last time we had 3 days of green? Because it's a good sign that we are starting to get somewhere in the market. So obviously there's always a job to be done. So the reason why I'm going through higher time frame now, we've got a lot of short-term trades to go through today and entries for us to be getting ready on, is for the investor side. Guys, we just need more candle print. Right now, we're on the road for a so-called recovery for now. Obviously, what's important is we have hit a double top at the top now previously. The last high that we've made now in the last 24 hours, we've hit a double top. So what I do want to see Bitcoin, there is going to be a short-term pullback, but this is obviously where the short-term traders now, this is where we're going to take advantage of that. For the higher time frame, guys, for the investors, we just got to allow the market a little bit more time before we can make more decisions on the investment. For now, we're bouncing and we're starting to make progress. So the main thing that I want to see with Bitcoin is I want to see us at least get to the $36,000 region today or tomorrow. Let's just confirm that higher high, and then it will start to take a little bit of time in the zone. We'll have a small pullback in the market, test our short-term supports, and that's when the short-term trades will be coming in. Remember now, we're at the point where our long-term, we've learned how to stake now. Yesterday was a great session on learning how to stake. If you missed a video, you can go have a look on BINANCE staking and how to be getting some of the coins out of your reach. Why? So that you don't allow the emotion for you to go and touch those. Remember, we don't want to be trading all of our money in the market. We just want to be trading a portion. And with that portion, we have a strategy and we have a structure. The longer term, the best way to make money in this market is to get the right entries and to damn hold them. And that's when the fundamentals are powerful, by understanding why we are getting in, and holding them by a year, 2 years, or longer time frames is where you make really, really good true wealth out of this market. And then we got our second section, our little spot wallet. And this is the one that we are getting a little bit more active on now. Now, the second thing that we've learned now, what was a big lesson that we learned through the last 2 months? Remember, 3 months ago, the markets were absolutely killing it. It was so easy to make money. But what was the problem? We kept going all in. And this is where the cash wallet became a huge section now. We are always going to make sure that any profits we pull out of this market, any profits that we take out of the market, that we're going to start filling up this cash wallet, guys. Just to always, we've learned the rules now, because how many times, even if we were still 70% in the market, before this huge dump, and this huge dump happened, and we had a nice cash portfolio. That's a rule. It's something else that we have now been taught along the journey. And it's important to know that every time we're making these short-term trades, we're making some money, just fill some cash. Have some cash sitting there, always to take opportunities on big dips. So that's a nice rule that we have learned shortly. And now, obviously, we are now focusing big time on this little structure with the spot wallet, where we are splitting our profits, getting some more long-term holds, filling up that cash, and making our spot trades a lot bigger. So let me jump out of here. You can see. Let's go have a look and see where we are sitting. So higher time frame, guys. Where we're looking at now, we're starting to break structure. We need just that higher high, but guys, we're starting to make a little bit of progress. So that is looking really good for bigger time frame. We will see as we progress in the week how we keep moving. And you know, at the end of the day, what we do want to see is we want to see Bitcoin start to make its way slowly up back to these regions over here. That would be lovely and the perfect scenario for the week for the bigger time to start getting that progression upwards and start breaking the key levels to the upward side. So for now, we just need a little bit more print. We are strongly invested. At any point we see big risk in the investment side, we will be having a look and seeing, you know, if Bitcoin starts to make lower lows again, we'll start looking at again if there is lower targets. Right now, we can't just say it's going lower. We can't do that just yet because we have a support which we are tracking the momentum right now. We break support, then I can look at lower levels. Remember, non-prediction strategy. We are just tracking momentum. That's all that we're doing. Only until we have broken my floor and my support can I say we can go down. For now, we are holding, we're making higher highs, and we are slowly progressing to the upward side. So this is where 70% of our money, it's sitting, it's holding, it's waiting, and now we start getting active with the small amount. Now, looking at higher time frame dominance, this is good. You know, we've been talking about this trend line for a while now, and you can see how we are getting good rejection at that trend zone now. Now, dominance, Bitcoin's holding its levels, it's slowly making its way up. Dominance, breaking short-time support, getting rejected at a very key resistance, equals nice reaction from the altcoins. Now we can see the alts are starting to make some good moves. We've got Bitcoin moving 2% up today, and we've got the alts moving 3, 4, 5%, 6%. I saw Kusama had an amazing day yesterday, and we could see now how the dominance, when that is dropping, how now it all diversifies into the altcoin. So that's a really good sign for us to say that the alts are now that Bitcoin's finally relaxing a little bit, and the bears, well, the sellers, you know, they're still there, but they're not having full control as what they did a week or two ago, where it was just so easy for the price to drop and so difficult for it to go up. Now it's looking a little bit better, and now you can see it's bringing confidence back to the altcoins, and now we're starting to get a nice push. Remember, going through the crypto market cap, the two, which is which is the altcoins, we could see how we broke that trend and how we were progressing upwards. So this was a really good sign to see that the altcoins now are starting to wake up. We're starting to get a little bit more confidence back in the markets, and obviously looking at the full total market cap, that we bounced on a very key support trend line. We had a little fake out to the bottom, but we recovered, we hold strong, and we also broke that daily trend line to the upward side. So we are getting confidence, we are looking good. Time will tell, and we will see as we start progressing upwards. So that's it for the higher sort of time frame investment wise. We are in, we are strong. We will get the warning signs, and we'll have a look at any points. But for now, we are progressing upwards, and we just need to give the market a little bit of time. Now, jumping into the shorter time frame, guys. This is where we are active now with our spot wallets. It's time to be trading. It's time to be having a bit of fun. And it's time to be putting all of the knowledge that we've been talking about for the last 2 weeks into some action. Remember, seeing is believing, right? So let's start learning the skill of what we have to do. All that we needed was a market to play with us. The market's playing with us. A simple strategy and structure, you can do very well in this market. So now we are finally starting to get somewhere. So Ethereum, guys, this is an exciting one, because even higher time frame for Ethereum, look what great. Let's just remove that, make us a bit bigger. There we go. We can see, what a great trend line we are breaking on Ethereum. So Bitcoin has only just broken that main trend line, and look at Ethereum. Ethereum is absolutely starting to accelerate to the upward side. So this is a really good sign for Ethereum, and for a higher time frame break. Now, we have been stocking up all different zones for Ethereum, right? But a higher time frame break, and especially for us now using our shorter term, our spot wallet section, to catch a retest over here, guys, is a brilliant trade, because yes, we have goals for the stop loss, for the spot wallet thing, but this is an entry where we can get a nice 50, 40, a much higher percentage because we are catching it. Remember, trend lines, if you can catch, even if it's the smaller part of your portfolio, if you can catch it on a higher time frame break, it's always the best. Because the shorter time frame is very volatile, and this, we know we are literally catching, even though Ethereum has done a nice 20-30% since the bottom of where we've hit recently, as there's still so much more that can happen from Ethereum, and look where we are catching it at the zone. So yesterday we said in the zone of Ethereum, I think it just missed our buy zone yesterday, just above. Let's have a look. Now, we were talking about a small pullback in the market yesterday. At any point it could come, and it didn't happen. It just started to keep going. Doesn't mean that pullback is still not coming. Guys, I rather wanted the proper higher high. Yesterday, we just made the higher high. Now we've definitely made the higher high on time frames. And what we have a look at, we've been looking at that stochastic RSI. And yesterday, this 4 hour was at the top. And it's still at the top, guys, which means at any point, we are going to have that pullback at any point. Now, is Ethereum now going to the next resistance point? Let's make this bigger and we can have a look. There we go. So now we are slowly making our way up, but at any point we can come down and test these supports. And this is where I want to capitalize with Ethereum, okay? Because now it's easy for us. There's a strong resistance point over there. There we go. So it can easily, for today, slowly progress up there, have another pullback into that zone, and then continue the move up. At any point, we can start to make our way down, and I want to be catching it on these support zones over here. So yesterday, we were talking about Ethereum getting it between 1,900, 1,950. It's a little bit higher now, but same strategy, guys. I want to be catching Ethereum between 1,900 to $2,000 is where I want to be catching Ethereum. Because end of the day, remember what we're teaching and what we must understand. Don't chase this. You can't chase this, guys. This is where they catch you. Don't chase the green. Remember, we want to always buy the pullbacks. Simple strategy when we're using our spot wallets and using the smaller part of our thing is this RSI, guys. This 4 hour. You catch it at the bottom and you catch it on a support. That's your indication where we're buying. Now, why should we, even though bigger picture, Ethereum can make its way up to $3,000 again? Of course it can. But why would we not enter right now? It's because remember the simple, when we are entering a trade, what is your damn rules? You need to understand that what am I risking? Where do I put my stop loss? When do I make it free? And when do I take profits? That's my simple strategy of trading. That's the simple. If I enter this trade right now, where do I put my stop loss? The problem is my previous proper low on the 4 hour and the low thing, my lows are down here. That's where my stop loss regions will be. And if we have a look at buying now, what is your risk? 10% risk? Guys, that's too much risk. So what we rather do is, remember, at this stage now, by trading off the 1 hour and the 4 hour, we may only have 2 or 3 trades a week. But guys, there is so much gains to still come in the market. We can be patient and just make sure that we are buying it on the support pushes, on the support lines. Now, what I'd rather want it to do, this is what I want. I know at any point the pullback's coming. When that pullback comes, I'm going to track that 4 hour RSI. I got a nice trend line in play. But the main thing is, I would rather catch it on these support buys here, getting it between 1,900 and 2,000, because then I can have my stop loss in this region over here. And you can see now my risk from 10% is down to 4%. That makes sense. That makes a lot more sense. Remember, it's all about risk to reward. Now, the one little thing I wanted to teach you guys today, let's just see. Do you see here? It's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The seventh column on the left here. Do you see you got a little tool here called long position? Now, remember, we always talk about risk to reward ratio. Okay. Now, what a risk to reward ratio is, how much money are you willing to risk for the reward for that trade? So, for example, we're saying that we want to be getting Ethereum between 1,900 and the $2,000 mark. Okay. Then I see it's still erased from yesterday. For my TP points and the zones, I'm looking for Ethereum to get back up to that zone, and I'm looking for Ethereum to get back up to that zone over there. Okay. Now, if that's, remember, these are they are predictions. I don't run off predictions, but I need to have some sort of target, right? Because we need to know that doesn't matter if it goes more or less. The main purpose of the spot wallet is to learn how to take profits, and then we can diversify and use those profits in the correct way. So what I mean by that now is, if we're looking at Ethereum now, we want to buy it between 1,900 and the $2,000 mark, and we want a stop loss at 1,870. Okay, it means if I take this little long tool that I was talking about here, and I click at where I want to enter or where I've entered the trade, do you see it brings up this little column thing over here? And what you do is, wherever your stop loss is, remember we're putting stop loss under the previous lows. So when we are in the zone and we get a nice decent bounce, this becomes a low, and we know the stop loss goes under that zone. But do you see how I can take this little tool now? I can put where the middle line is, I can put where my entry is. You can see it over there. And what I can do is I can drag this tool to where my stop loss is. And do you see over here how it shows me a percentage? That's the amount that I'm risking for this trade for my stop loss. So if my stop loss gets hit, I lose 3 to 4%. Okay. Now I go look at where's my TPs. You remember the whole purpose of the spot wallets and that is to know that we need to have an exit point. Guys, you need to be happy with whatever. Before you have taken that trade, you know you've managed your risk now. You know what your risk is. But if I get to 20%, I'm taking 50% profits. Or I'm taking, the main thing is, guys, you have to learn to take profit with this. Your long term is there to sit through all of it and go through all the wild craziness in the market. This is an exit. It's a soldier. It's a non-love me wallet, and that's what you're using. So now you take this little tool and you say, okay, when I get, now I can measure it. When I get to 15%, I need to take 50% profit. Now you can measure from your entry. You can go and you see how it shows you a percentage at the top here. It shows you there that is the level over there. 2,270 is when you've made 16% profit. That's where I need to be taking a good portion. But you see how now you can see your risk to reward ratio. There you can see, let's just make this a bit bigger. There we go. You see over here, it says risk to reward ratio 7.8. That means it's a 1 to 7.8 thing, which means that you're risking 3%, but your gain can be 25%. So you're risking a hell of a lot less. That's a worthiness trade. You can't trade something that you're risking 5% and your reward is 5%. Guys, that's a 1-to-1. You don't want that. You want to make sure that it's worthy. It has to be worthy for you to take that trade. So by using this little tool with your targets and your risk management rules to say that I'm happy to make 20% out of this trade. I take this little tool. Where's my 20%? I can see at that zone over there. I now go mark off a line. Great. I can set an alarm on that line. Remember how to set alarms, guys. You go there, you right click, add alert. I set an alarm in play. There we go. And when it hits that alarm, I got to take percentage, some profit. Or I can set a limit order at any point in that region. So this is a lovely little tool for us to use to help you identify your risk to reward. Now, right now, I'm still seeing Ethereum over the next week or two to slowly make its way to the $2,500 to the $2,700 region. Which means anywhere where we are entering the trades now, we're looking at a 4 to 5% risk, and the reward, we're looking to a 30 to a 35% reward. See, now that's worthiness. Now, when I get anywhere between 20 to 30% in profits, what do? I take my profits at any point and I funnel it out. There we go. 33% of those profits stays in my spot. 33 goes into long term. I choose my Love Me coins. 33 into my cash wallet for any next dips that come in the market. So I just wanted to show that for you guys. So end of the day, what I'm looking at for Ethereum is anywhere between $1,900 to $2,000 mark is where I'm taking a nice long position, and I'm putting my stop loss at around 1,850 in that region. As we progress, remember, we are going to come down. I want to see that 4-hour RSI hit the bottom. That's when I know it's time to be loading up in that zone. So always use that tool. As we progress and we make a higher high, if we make a higher high, we shouldn't make a lower low, which means I take my stop loss and I make my trade for free. Just under where I've entered in that zone. Now I'm at a 1% risk. Now I allow the trade to do what it needs to do. And remember, at any point, if you're happy with 10%, if you're happy with 15%, take damn profits. The main thing is to get into the habit of taking profits. So where I'm looking at now, okay, let's jump back on. Let's get it back on there, Freddie. There we go. Okay, so that's where we're looking with Ethereum and where we're looking at that. Now, the next short-term trades that I'm looking at was still Link from yesterday. It just touched the box from yesterday. But what I'm looking at for Link is we're also getting very high on the higher, there we go, on the higher time frame. So a pullback is coming at any point. We want Bitcoin. to make that 36, and then we can have a pullback to the 34 region, which means that anytime we have that pullback, dominance is currently in the alt's favor, which means that if there's any pullback from Bitcoin, the alts are going to be the ones that are going to fall a little bit harder than what Bitcoin is. And remember, when Bitcoin goes up, the alts are going to be growing quicker than Bitcoin. And that's all that it means by the dominance coming down. So where I'm looking at for Chainlink is I still want to catch it between 17.5 and 18.2. And what I'm doing with that is my stop loss is then sitting at 16.8. So you can see my risk is looking between a 5%, and my reward, I'm still looking between $22 and the $24 for Link. So anywhere in the zone, I am not chasing this pump. This is where they catch you. We buy a support trade. Be a little bit patient. We need to start becoming accurate. So we want to see that 4 hour make its way down, get the 4 hour to the bottom, stocking up in the zone, and make our way up. As soon as we break the higher high, we're taking our stop loss and we are moving it straight to minimal risk anywhere at that zone. So where we're looking at is risk anywhere in the zone. Let's have a look. Anywhere in the zone risk, 4% to 4.5%. And our reward anywhere there is between 27 and 36%. That's worthiness of a trade. Take profits at any point. So Chainlink, anywhere in those zones. Remember, guys, we do have Dollar Currency. Please follow him on Twitter. He always creates a summary for us every day with my zones, my stop losses, anything like that. So if you don't catch it nicely, make sure you do see it on Twitter because he does help us with all those ranges. The next one, guys, is DOT. DOT is getting to the point where we are getting a nice little pullback. Let's have a look. Here we go. And this is sort of looking like a nice inverse head and shoulders that can play out. So I also see a little bit more upside. I see the right shoulders to come down. I want to capitalize on this support trend buy over here. So I'm looking at DOT to catch it now between 14.7 and 15.4 with my stop loss at 14.4. You can see minimal risk, and we can see our target is between 18.6 and $20 in that region. So our risk 5%, our reward 25 to 30%. So DOT, same thing. Guys, the reason why I'm showing this now, because this pullback can happen at any time. Because we gradually grow up, sometimes we get a nice quick red candle that comes down to the downward side. Get that 4 hour RSI to the bottom, 1 hour RSI to the bottom. Then we know we can capitalize. So DOT is one, definitely catch on this next dip that's coming. And Uni, guys, Uni is one that's looking good. It's accelerating really, really strong. I just want to catch it on that small pullback, and it's showing me very much the similar thing. Left, head, right shoulder, and go to the next field. So same thing with Uni. Uni, I want to catch it between 16.3 and 17.1, and my stop loss will be at 15.5. And obviously, as we progress, this will make its way down. We'll push up. We make the higher high. I take my stop loss, and I make it for free. Where I'm looking at, so remember, I'm saying 16.3 to 17.1 entries, stop loss 15.6 in that region, and my take profits 22 to the $24 region. So my risk to reward, same thing. Have a look. A little bit higher, 5% risk, but looking at my reward, 30 to a 40% reward. So Uni is the next one. And the last one that I want to show you guys, oh wait, there's another two more after this, is ADA as well. So what's exciting with ADA and why it's important for us to be getting this next buy is we are still have not broken the higher time frame break, the higher resistance just yet. So after this next pull, I see it going up a little bit now. The pullback, come test support, and the break will really get good, strong acceleration up to the upward side, where I can see it going all the way back up to $1.7 to $1.8 region, which means that's a good 30 to 40% region. I want to be catching it now 1.2 to 1.28 with my stop loss at 1.14, anywhere in that region. So Cardano is the next one that's looking good. Kusama has really started to accelerate lovely yesterday. And remember, we went a little bit quick. And what this does is sometimes create some sort of imbalance. And that's where I want to capture that down there. So if I can get Kusama between 185 to the 100, call it the $200 mark, that's a great. I'm not going to chase this pump. I want to catch it on a discount. That's where I want to capture it. My stop loss at 174. I still see Kusama going all the way back up to $300 to $320. That's a good 50, 60%. So Kusama is definitely a big one to catch up on. And then we got the last one, which I want to chat about now, is BNB. BNB, lovely support trend line. And we have the major higher time frame resistance point over there. So we know a big move is coming at any point we break that higher resistance. I see Bitcoin's making its way up. Great, great, great. So we want to catch it now. BNB, we can catch anywhere now, 280 to the $290 region with $270 as our stop loss. 5% risk, and our reward is obviously looking a great 30 to 40%. So remember now, we haven't predicted to say the whole market's turn bullish higher time frame. We haven't said any of that. The main thing is we are getting good entries. There's money to be made. We can see here very clearly the market is damn waking up. So let's make the money, take our reward, use our flushing system, and make sure that our portfolios are balanced. And that's the main thing through all of it. So I think that's it for the call wise. I think it's time for us to get our guest on the line and to have a chat. Now, guys, now it's time for us to go through a little bit of education. Let's get through on the, where's our banner? Yeah, we don't have it. The Sniper's Wisdoms, guys. And what we have today is we got a great buddy, a guy that I really look up to, Mr. Ched's in the house. Let's bring you in, buddy. What's up? What's up? What's up?
Wow, that was awesome. I had a lot of fun watching you, and I took some notes. I took some notes, man.
Buddy.
Yeah.
How are you? How's things going?
I'm going well. Thank you. I really appreciate being here. First, everybody, you got to hit that like, hit that subscribe button. It helps get these videos out there in that YouTube algo. So when you get that nice free content, you want to show your support by hitting that subscribe, hitting that like button.
Appreciate it, buddy. Appreciate it. I'm sure. Well, what are your thoughts now on focusing a little bit more on the education? What are you thinking, buddy, with everything? I know everyone loves making money, but I don't think anyone really realizes the crucial times when the markets are not reacting the way we want, how important it is to be studying and how important it is to be improving self-knowledge.
So I'd love to look at the chart in a minute, but just from what we talked about, and you talked about having like a rule system and trading rules. You know, if you ignore them, they're not trading rules. They become suggestions, and that's no good. So you want to have kind of clearly defined trading rules that are helping you minimize your risk. You talked about kind of a certain risk to reward ratio in classical charting. You want to have at least a 3-to-1 risk to reward ratio. When you're getting up to 5, 6, 7-to-1, you know, that's a really nice setup. So you, like you said, you want to have at least a 3-to-1 risk to reward. You certainly don't want to be trading all your money. You know, I heard you touch on that. You know, there's different schools of thought. Anywhere from maybe 1 to 5% would be the most you'd want to risk in any one trade in terms of a relation to your whole portfolio. So, you know, things are volatile. It doesn't matter how good you think your plan is. Trading will humble you. Trading will show you that you don't know anything. Trading will show you that you're still new. Doesn't matter how old you are. Trading will show you don't know nothing. So manage your risk. Define your risk before it defines you, you know, as I like to say, and also having cash ready. You know, it's especially in crypto market, Sheldon, it could just flush. And I know for me, I've been in something I've been scaling into, and then it will just go a whole nother level down. And I say, why didn't I save more cash? You know, why didn't I have more funds ready? So try to you know, scale in. If you want to put in, you know, $1,000, do 250 at a time. Break it into 4 increments and kind of scale yourself in, be a little bit more nimble, you know, be a little bit more agile. I think you'll set yourself up well.
No, I think it's huge. I think it's a massive. I've learned that personally. I was all in, and then this whole thing all that happened, and it's crazy. That doesn't matter how you can actually, I wouldn't say become good at trading, but the market always at some point turns and kicks your butt a little bit. And you know that's where, like you said, we will never be able to predict and become these gods or whatever in sort of trading and whether. But all we can do is running with the system. I believe that consistency wins the race. Yes, some we're going to lose, but by consistently and knowing that, like, what's your importance on taking profits? What's your biggest view on taking profits? Because I think so many times we have that greediness little one sitting on our shoulder. No, it can go a little bit more. No, it can go a bit more. And what's the importance? Well, what's your little rules on your back to say, what's your take profit region, and what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's really interesting. It's good. I'm glad you asked that. So what I like to do, I like to have maybe multiple positions. So say I'm trading ADA or I'm trading DOT. I might have several small positions rather than just one large one. And with that is I can move my stop losses. Hopefully the trade moves in the direction I'm hoping. Then I can move my stop losses up to different levels. So I kind of scatter them. I give myself I'll move it into profit as soon as I can. I'll have a trailing stop loss. So if it goes up $5, I'll move my stop loss up 2 or 3. But I'm really always assuming, because the best runs come when everyone gets liquidated, right? The best runs come when everyone's stop losses get triggered. So I like to say I'll do 5 positions and I'll move them up at different increments. That way, you know, half will trigger, maybe I'll keep half. But then as the price approaches key resistance, I like to coach taking profit as the price approaches key resistance. I'd love to take a look at the chart and give you an example of what I'm talking about.
Let's go for it, buddy. There we go.
So I was listening to you earlier, and you know, I would just disagree slightly. You said people were faked out here on this pump, but I really wasn't faked out, because if you look at it, we're in a pretty well-defined horizontal channel. You know, we're in kind of a bear rectangle after that bear move down, and people who are buying that low 30K level, you're just going to be expecting them to take profit as we approach that resistance. So even we were up here, we're hitting that upper Bollinger Band. That's a big move. The Morning Star, the 3-candle combo. We get that 32K to that 40K level. You've got to expect people to be taking profit. You know, and people just tend to get bullish at resistance. And that's where people who are thrifty, who are kind of low ball bidders, people who are bargain hunters, they're taking profit. So anyone who bought down here, I think, should have recognized we're trading in a pretty clearly defined range. Key horizontal supply area resistance right around 40K. So you take profit as you're approaching resistance, right? Where we are right now, we still have that upper and lower boundary. We have that middle channel. And as I was watching you, we're getting a little bit of that bull break. And you see, you know, the best argument, just to back up, the best argument for bulls right now is what's called a spring. It's a false bear break where you establish a low and you temporarily violate it. And we violated that low temporarily, and you flush stop losses. Anyone who loaded here, you know,
I think everyone had their stop losses around the 29 because they thought that previous week low. So that makes sense.
That's it, brother. And it's interesting, if you go back and we're kind of looking for warning signs up top, how we got here. We had the up thrust, or the opposite of that, the bull trap. So you really want to pay attention. Technical analysis is really just observation. You observe that we established this high, we penetrated it, we were unable to regain that high. That's a pretty big bear sign. So you came back below, now it's resistance. So we have the up thrust, the false bull break. Now we potentially have the opposite of that, which is called a spring, right? The false bear break. I don't know if that's going to follow through, because my concern is that we're still trading below the key horizontal. We have the high from January, the low from March, that 42, 43K level, below MA50, below MA200. I can't really get excited on a longer term scale until we recapture those moving averages. I see us still trading in a well-defined horizontal range. What you can do is either buy the bottom of the range on a retest potentially, or you in theory could have bought while you were talking earlier on the break of these highs here. Listen to the price. Price is telling us rejection, rejection, rejection. Now we're back up above it. So in theory, you could establish a long at that like 35.3 level and have your stop loss pretty tight, because you either kind of recapture this middle channel or you don't. Let's say we do capture the middle channel. We get maybe what's called the bullish throwback, where you come up and come back and retest. I saw you talking about that a lot, about retesting. One thing I want to my thoughts are, and I see you using horizontals, I think it's got to be careful using a diagonal to kind of establish a trade, because you have what's called the pullback. The throwback. You break through a resistance, and when you come back and you retest it, you're already lower. So if you establish your trade based on a horizontal break, when you come back, you're at that same level. So just from my trading style, what's beautiful is there's no one way. You know, no one person can tell another person, your style works, your style doesn't work. I think you got to be careful with using diagonals personally to kind of initiate a trade. I like to use a horizontal. This would be a pretty clean thesis here on that.
So I love to actually use both.
Yeah.
So what I like to do is the horizontal plus the diagonal plus the horizontals to give me that sort of that level. And do you just run off a percentage rule for stop loss, or do you run a system like mine is lower lows? You know what I mean? Any point on that point, because that's just showing us weakness, is showing us change of momentum. We shouldn't be making lower lows if we're trending upwards, and that just gives a nice strategy with the stop loss going upwards. What's your little stop loss rule, or what you follow?
Stop loss is really a term of art. It's how you use it. First of all, your stop loss should be based on your thesis, your trade idea. So like you said, and you're right on, is the higher low. So if your whole thesis is that this is the low 30K, that's your stop loss. So whatever your reason is, your thesis is we broke this resistance. Well, if we come back and we're not holding it anymore, your thesis has failed. So the stop loss is the whole reason you're in the trade. It's the whole thesis, the idea behind it. Some people use a money stop, which is a certain dollar amount, which I don't recommend because it's arbitrary. Some people use a certain percentage stop, which I actually don't recommend as well, because that's also arbitrary. It should be based on key demand and supply levels, key support and resistance, based on the price, not based on your bankroll. Like your trade shouldn't operate in your bankroll. It should be based on the price action. So it should be based on key support levels or your trading thesis, which is basically a diagonal or a horizontal break based on the price. That's how I recommend doing it.
Okay, great. No, brilliant. I think before we go, guys, the reason being we need to smash those likes is we have spoken to our man Cheds, and his brilliant book. Guys, you know what I love about Cheds? He's focused very much on the mindset. Everyone thinks that trading comes down to the TA and comes down to all these things. The mindset, I believe, is the most valuable thing that needs to be controlled as a trader, as an investor, any of them, because the mind and the emotions are the ones that make you make the silly mistake. They're the ones that make you go against your rules, the ones that make you go against your structure. So what we're doing, guys, we're going to be giving a book giveaway. And what I'm going to do, it is quite tough to get hold of people on the YouTube. Straight after this, I am going to be posting a Twitter link, a Twitter message with Cheds, and we'll be selecting. We'll see. I think it's 3 or 5 books that we're going to be getting for you guys and be giving that away to all of you guys. It's so important. We want to share the love of training that mind and keeping it strong. And what's your thoughts on that, Cheds? The mindset. What is your thoughts on the mindset of actual trading? I believe it's the most powerful thing that needs to not have a bit of structure, but just, you have to control it, because how many times does this market try to destroy your mental? It tries to destroy you. And I think it's designed to exactly do that, because at the end of the day, everyone's fighting for the same coins. And the only way they're going to get your coins if they make you make a mistake or something in that way. What's your thoughts on the whole mindset and why it's so important?
It's a wonderful topic. I do want to say first, thank you to the Banter community, because you folks have been amazing. You and Ran and Fred have just brought a
We
whole
love
lot
you,
of...
bro.
We do. Freddie.
No, you guys, it's just, I feel honored, and it's awesome. So thank you. I love the Banter community. You are your own worst enemy. I often say, don't be mean, don't be mean to yourself, because the world will do that for you. So don't beat yourself up. Give yourself a chance. Believe in yourself. Either trade with. I have all these catchphrases from the book, because it's all about talking to yourself and managing yourself. Either trade with confidence or don't. So if you come into a trade believing you're gonna fail and everything sucks and I keep making mistakes, you're gonna make another mistake because you don't believe in yourself. If you're in that kind of situation, just stop. Step away. Go play basketball. Go fishing. Go read a book. Go watch a movie. Do something else. Respect your money. Take it seriously. If you're going to come in and you're going to risk money, have prepared ahead of time. Read a textbook. Watch these videos. Take advantage of what's out there and come in with your risk defined, with your plan defined, and follow it. And if it doesn't work out, say, cool, I'm going to go write in the journal and I'm going to write down what happened. I'm going to put my numbers in the trading log to analyze later. Then I'm going to step away. Here's a great thing to keep in mind. If you enter a position and you immediately feel uncomfortable, you probably have too much money in that position, right? Manage your emotions. Think about your emotions. If you're like, wow, this doesn't feel right, step back. You want to feel comfortable and in control. And when you don't feel in control, you're going to make mistakes, and those mistakes can cascade. So, technical analysis is great, but how about personal analysis? How about just knowing yourself and managing yourself? That's critical.
And what's so important with that, Cheds, is I think people feel like the market's not going to be there tomorrow. So that the importance of understanding that right mindset, don't trade if you're in a bad mindset, go fishing, go relax. But I think people don't realize the market will be there tomorrow. And I think that's a huge thing. They think that the only time now is to make money right now. And it's a true thing. It's something that I've felt. That's where your FOMO comes in. And you don't actually take a break, or you don't actually, I don't know about you, but I got very addicted to trading in the beginning, where I actually overtraded way too much.
Yeah.
And that's where I learned my weaknesses and my strengths in the market.
Think about poker. I've done a lot of poker. And if you're sitting at the table and you're playing every, no limit hold'em, 2 cards, if you're playing every hand with an ace, you're going to get in trouble. But if you're waiting for the ace king, if you're waiting for pocket aces, you're waiting for a strong hand, you're probably going to do well. So boredom trading will kill you. Boredom trading will just annihilate your bankroll. And the best opportunities come on market overreactions. The best opportunities come on unexpected flushes. And it's really hard to grind it out on the smaller moves. If you're trying to go for a 15-minute ascending triangle reversal, maybe it works, but you didn't realize that the larger time frame has a head and shoulders top or something. You've got to step back, play the bigger moves, play the moves with volume. And it's funny, the bottoms, these reversals, when they happen, they're more obvious than you think, and they're slower to form. And I'm always trying to jump in, I'm trying to catch it. But if you sit back and you wait for more information, wait for the bigger moves, you'll see that things are starting to come to you.
The market, what the money moves from the impatient to the patience. That's one of the biggest things I've learned.
Yeah, it really does, man. And but how do you know that? And it's experience. And how do you get experience? What you started out talking about is defining your risk, not putting it all in at once. So, if you're frustrated, you're watching this, you're a new trader, it might take you many years, and it's probably going to suck. It's going to suck, and that's okay. But as long as you define your risk and you just take little losses, you'll learn tricks. You'll learn how to define your risk. You got to stay in the game. There's no substitute for experience. It's just none.
What I love about, there was one section in the book where it was saying that every time you actually take a loss, you actually paid for that lesson.
Yeah.
And it's your choice to take down that lesson and to make sure you can try as much as you can in the future to not repeat it. Because I believe in that. Every time there's a loss or something goes wrong, I add to my rule book, or I add to my this. And over time, I'm still going to get wrong, but I actually slowly got getting a little bit less wrong at time. I'll never be perfect. But by using that as a nice tool for me to understand it, a loss is just a lesson. And, there's a lot of times that we're going to make money in the market, but a loss, you cannot be upset with losses or something you did wrong. It just means you need to sharpen your pencil a little bit in something and to acknowledge it. I think people, you will run in circles if you don't acknowledge the little things that if you got that trade wrong, what happened? You know what I mean? Because my simple thing is I already know my risk before I enter the trade, and I already know when I'm making that trade for free. And the third thing is I already know when I'm taking profits in that trade. The problem is where would happen in the last bull cycle now and everything was running, we just thought it was going to go on forever. And because you don't have any exits, remember, I still got my long term. So whenever I'm taking these profits, I'm flushing them, a portion into my long term, I'm flushing into cash, and I'm leaving a little bit more in my spot so it's a bit bigger. So I've sort of designed a little system to guide me to help me the most that I can at certain points. But I think that the having the take profit points is the most powerful thing. Plan it before you've even taken that trade, to know at some point, when am I taking some money off the table? Because otherwise that emotion, that little greediness is in you, is going to say it's going to go a little bit more. It's going to go a little bit more. And then a stupid little thing like an Elon tweet will come out and all your hard work for the whole week or for the whole month literally goes down the drain.
You said so many great things, and I keep wanting to pull those threads and kind of jump in different directions. I'll start with what you ended with, which is on profit. And it's a good idea to set some type of a limit sell order higher, just in case the market will flush. You don't want to, you want to take advantage of that. And that's why I like to have multiple smaller positions, because I can set one or two of them really high. And if they hit and it keeps going, I still have some risk exposure. In terms of mistakes, and paying for them, first of all, when you're starting out, you don't know what's right or wrong until you make the mistake. So you have to make the mistake to know what not to do. And in terms of paying for them, I've made a couple of mistakes recently in my equity trades, and I'm still kind of licking my wounds and trying to see what I've done wrong and adjust my system. And it's up to you if you want to take the benefit of that lesson. I mean, are you going to keep taking that same course over and over again, or are you going to pass the test and move on? You paid for the mistake, and are you going to learn from it? And if you learn from it, it's not lost. So when I have a big loss, I still have them. And my buddy Big Jonas is still harping on me to fix my mistakes. When I have a big loss, I say, what am I going to learn from this? Because I'm not going to put myself in this position again. I will not put myself in this position again. And I get better, I get better, I get better. That's what you have to do.
And then if you have actually jotted it down and acknowledged it, you've actually haven't lost.
Yeah.
You've just learned a lesson, and we continue. Buddy, thank you very much. Please, can you give us some level? Where can people get your book? It's so important. It's really, really important to work on the mind. Where can they get it? Where can they get involved? I really advise everyone to be getting it.
Well, again, thank you. I love you, Banter community. Trading Wisdom, 50 Lessons Every Trader Should Know. It's available on Amazon right now. You can also just Google Trading Wisdom. It's the top result. If you can't get the book, some people can't based on their country, I'm doing a free video series on YouTube. Look for Ched's Trading. I'm doing one lesson every 3 weeks. I'll have a new lesson probably next week or sometime soon. So check that out. But I love you guys. Thank you so much.
Buddy,
All right?
thank you. I'd love to see you again soon. I think we really got a very similar sort of mindset and a really good way of understanding that this isn't a miracle thing that happens. If you want it, you can go get it. And you know what I mean? And I think that's it. Just learn from your mistakes, keep growing and keep building. Cheds, thank you, my man. Thank you very much. Have a great day. And we'll see you again soon. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
There we go. Okay, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. As you can see, we're focusing very much, at times there's no entries right now, but later on today there will be, or by tomorrow morning there will be. So remember that, just be patient. Let's get the support buys. Let's manage our risk and know when we are exiting. We are using the simple tool system, and it's time to start getting active now. The market's starting to wake up. We're starting to get a little bit of movement. So let's practice what we've been preaching. Let's do it together and let's build, guys. The last thing that I do, guys, is, yesterday I've been showing this little tool over here. Let's have a look. This little tool over here called Coin Panel. We are running a little bit behind on time today for me to get through what I wanted to. Tomorrow I am going to go through a little section, because this is a cool little tool. Remember yesterday what we were speaking about with BINANCE, that when we play, so yesterday we learned entries, we learned stop losses, we learned take profits. What I love about this little tool as well, it's got a lovely little section. I am going to be doing a video straight after this and putting it on my Twitter. For anyone that is interested, remember we are partners with Coin Panel. We do get a percentage of the monthly fee of that, but remember why we actually brought this to the system was because they are working with us on the education. I spoke to them yesterday, guys, and all this education that we are bringing onto and that I'm teaching you guys, we're literally building into this. We are actually getting to a point where we want it to be fully educational, and we want an easy system for us. What I love about this whole system is sometimes people don't have time. Some people don't have this. Remember, this is not TradingView and Coin. There's all different ways that you can use it. But what I love about this is at any point you don't have time, you can set your buy limits, and you can already set where your stop limits and your 3 take profit points are going to be, and you set it in. Remember, the problem with Binance was when we put a limit order in, when it gets to that limit order and it buys, then you can only set a stop loss and set that OCO order and the take profits. With this, it can be preset, because they have something called a sniper mode. Eventually, we want to be loading my charts up on here. There's so many things that are bringing to this to help the community. So at any point, if it is an extra tool that you want, guys, it is brilliant. Below, we have the description on tutorials on it. Go have a look. It's really, really good. And I will be doing a nice video on it. Guys, remember the simple tools. You got something like TradingView, you got your Binance, you got something like, they're all different tools, and everything's going to work in the own way that you want it. We are just showing you guys at any point, anything that's going to help your journey and be worthiness of it. That I was saying it yesterday on the call on the educational call. If you're doing this job, you want to be a trader, and same thing as if you're a plumber or if you're an electrician, you get the correct tools for the job. And that's it. End of the day, to make your life a lot easier, guys. So there will be more info. We'll get onto it later on in the week as well, guys. For myself, get ready for those entries. Bitcoin is making its way up. We're getting to that point for the higher high. Yes. I'm starting to feel a little bit of goodness in my bones and where we're feeling right now. So I'm getting excited. Don't FOMO in. We buy the dips. We manage our risk. We put our stop loss in, and we know when we're making that trade for free. And we know when we are taking profits, guys. So from my side, I hope you have a brilliant day. I hope you have a fantastic day. Get ready for those entries, and let's get going, guys. We have been studying for the last 2 months. It's time for us to start putting that all to work. So from my side, guys, have a great day. Trade safe, and I will see you all tomorrow.